So in today's session, we are going to discuss about JavaScript functions. Okay. So functions, guys, if you have to write the same logic multiple times, instead of creating the instead of writing multiple logics, we'll create one function. Getting my point? Instead of writing the same logic, we'll create a function. Getting my point? The function syntax will be, I'm going to the background script. Okay. Getting my point here? Function syntax will be function will start with the function keyword. This is a function keyword. After that, you can define the function name. It can be any name. Add two values. So that you have to open parenthesis and you have to open the block. This is the function syntax. It should start with the function keyword. The function name, it can be any name. And this is actually called parenthesis. And after that, you have to open the block. This is the function syntax. The parenthesis, you can get parameters. In the parenthesis, whatever you see are called parameters. Value 1, comma, value 2. We have two parameters here. Okay. Where value 3 is equal to value 1 plus value 2. Okay. Here, whatever you write in the return will be the out return value 3. The function return line is very important. This is the output. These parameters are input. Okay. So in the function, you are taking two inputs, value 1 and value 2 as inputs. Value 3 will be the output. So output you can pass it using return. Inputs you can get it using parameters. Input you can get it using parameters. Okay. Getting my point? Okay. So how do we call this function name is that using this function name, you can directly call it ds.print function name parenthesis. In the parenthesis, I am passing 60, comma 40. 60, comma 40. So it will print the output as 100. So these are called arguments. You are passing arguments. Those arguments are called here as parameters. Those parameters you are actually taking as input. Value 1 plus value 2 you are storing in value 3. That value 3 you are passing as an output. Whatever after the return line, whatever you keep, that will be the output. Okay, whenever you call this function, you are passing two inputs 60, 40. It is calculating those two values. It is giving the output as 100. If I give 160 comma 40, 200. Getting my point? So you can call this function anywhere. You don't have to write this logic every time. If you want to calculate, if you want to add two values, you can use this one. Okay. Getting my point? Hmm? Okay. So you have to define a function using function keyword, and you can define a function name and parenthesis. In the parenthesis, you have to pass parameters. Okay. Where value 3 is equal to value 1 plus value 2. Okay. That value 3 you are passing as an output. So here you are receiving the output here. Hmm? This return is very important, guys. Okay. Okay. Now we will create another function. Function subtract values. Okay. ps.print. Okay. Subtract values. This is how you will call the function. So here what am I doing is return 40. 40 will be the output. When I call this one, it will give the output as 40. In the return, you kept 40, right? It is giving the output as 40. Now what I'm doing is 160, comma 60. I want to subtract 60 minus 60 minus 60. So I'm taking value 1, comma value 2. Where value 3 is equal to value 1 minus value 2. Value 3. Okay. Okay. Now we'll go to our regular example. Email address validation. Okay. I am just creating function called is email. Is email is a function. Okay. Take my point. ps.print. Hmm? Sorry, my mind is not working. Is email. Remove s here. Remove s here as well. Is email. Here I am passing email. abc@gmail is not an email, right? So here I am taking it as email. Here I am taking it as email. Okay. So here I have to take the regular expression where regex is equal to Okay. Where is valid email is equal to false. By default, I'm taking. By default, I'm taking it as false. If email dot match rejects, okay, then is email is equal to true. By default, it is false. If it is matching, it is true. Finally, I am passing the output as is valid email. This will hold Boolean value true or false. It will pass true or false. Getting my point? What did I do? I have taken the email here. That email is in this format or not, I am checking. If it is in this format, I am keeping it as true, or else it will be false by default. That I am actually passing as an output. Now, what is the expected output here? It should give the output as false. Okay. .com. True. Getting my point? Okay. You are clear, right? I have created a function. In that function, I am actually passing an argument. This argument is nothing but parameter here. I am comparing this parameter with this particular regular expression. If it is matching the regular expression, then I am keeping this variable as true. Else it is false. I have declared a variable here where is valid email is equal to false by default. If it is matching, I am keeping it as true. Finally, I am passing the output. If it is matching, it will pass true. If it is not matching, it will pass false. Okay. Okay. Now what I am doing is I'm just taking a string where emails is equal to abc@gmail, comma hello@gmail.com, mahesh@gmail, suresh@gmail.com. Okay. I have taken this string. In this string, I want to separate valid emails, invalid emails. Then what I will do, I will take array here. Array is equal to emails dot split, comma. Okay. Then what I will do, I loop through each element. Each email is a valid email address or not, I have to check. Then I will use for loop here. Loops we did discuss in our last session. Where is equal to 0, a less than arr dot length, a plus plus. Okay. So here I am taking two arrays. One is valid emails array, another one is invalid emails array. Where Okay. If, okay, I'm calling this function here. Here we have to pass true or false, right? This function will give you output true or false, right? Argument, here I am passing parameter, I am passing argument as ARR of index I. If it is true, else. I'm calling this function here. Condition. In the if condition, I'm calling this function. Valid emails dot push ARR of I. Invalid emails dot push I. Okay. Finally, we have to print the gs dot print valid emails string. Invalid emails dot string. So what has happened here? First of all, I have taken a string. That string I have actually splitted. Once we split it, it will be converted as an array. Okay. This is array. In this array, this all emails are stored as elements. Then I have actually taken two empty arrays. One is valid emails, another one is invalid emails. Okay. Then I'm actually looping each element in the array using for loop. So I'm calling this function in the if condition. Remember, this function I'm actually calling in the if condition. I'm actually passing each email address as a argument that we are receiving as a parameter here. Getting my point? Then it will give you a Boolean value true or false. If it is true, it will actually add that email address into the valid emails. If it is false, it will actually add into the invalid emails. All the concepts are covered here or not. You can see these all are valid email addresses. These all are invalid email addresses. All the concepts are covered or not? This is a string. We have assigned this string to this particular JavaScript variable. We converted this string into array using split method. Delimiter is comma here. And I have looped through each element in the array. And each element is, each email is in the valid format or not, I am checking. Is email. So this is calling this function here. You're getting my point? Yeah, here I'm first term, I'm passing this email. Second time I'm passing this email. Third time I'm passing. Fourth time, fifth time, sixth time. So this for loop will run 6 times. First time, first email you will pass. You will check that if that is a email or not. You will get Boolean value true or false. If it is true, inside the if condition will be executed. If it is false, inside the else part will be executed. Getting my point? How did I call this function here? Without using function, how do we write? We will take this one as a global variable outside the function, outside the for loop. Okay. Whatever the condition that we are writing, You will write condition here. You will not call this function. Not calling the function here. Let me just run the script. Okay, email is not there, right? In place of this email, you have to pass error of hmm? With function, without function. You're able to understand, right? Okay. Okay. Now we will understand about self-calling functions. Self-calling functions will not have name. They are actually called self-calling functions. Hmm? Do you remember we used the self-calling function within the for each loop? Hmm? Within the for each loop. Ds dot within self-calling function. You no need to call this one. Previously we called a function. We no need to call this one. What is this? This one will take a function without name. Function without name. Okay. Here you have to use gs.in of 4 comma 5 or 5 are. So you'll get the output as 20 here. Okay. So it is same as add multiply two values. Hmm. So earlier what we have done, We have used this function name somewhere here. Did not use this one. Getting my point? That is the only difference. So earlier we have used the function name here. Now we have taken the JavaScript variable name and you are using self-calling function. Function without name. Both the ways you can declare a function. Okay. You have to understand about this keyword in object. Objects. In the object, we have to understand about this keyword. Where Uday object. Okay. First name colon Uday. Okay. Here you see full name. Full name. I am using function here. Okay. Full name, function name I am taking here. So this is a object. This is a object. These values will be stored in the this object. These values will be stored in the this object. This dot first name means Uday. This dot last name means Gadiparthi. Okay. Return this dot first name plus this dot last name. Okay. Now you see here gs dot print Uday object dot full name. Full name means what happens if you call this one, this function will be executed. It will add Uday name, Gadiparthi name together. It should be this one. It should be with the parenthesis. Giving the output as Uday Gadiparthi. This keyword access is within this object. It will hold all the values within this object. Outside this object, you cannot use this keyword. Within this object, you can use this keyword. Getting my point? We'll try with the middle name colon this dot first name. Okay. We'll call the middle name now. Okay. Giving can be accessible only within the function. Okay. It is not working. It is giving undefined. It will work only in the functions. Getting my point? This object refers to this object values. This keyword, if you try to access this keyword outside of this particular object, it won't work. You understand my point? This keyword I am able to use only within the functions only. Within this object only, within the functions only I can use. This means this object values. The present object is there, right? That object values. Okay. Uday object dot full name Uday Gadiparthi. In the object, this return is very important. The return will give you output. This return will give you output. In the functions, the main part is how to use return line. Return will pass outputs. This return line, mostly you will use it in the end of the function. This return line you will use mostly in the end of the function. I'll show you some scripts. You have used return in the end or not? You have used return in the end or not? Return in the end. Okay. You can see return is always used in the end. You take any script here. You can see return. You'll always find return in the end, guys. Return is very important in the functions. Okay. Return is very important in the functions. Okay. Mm. Okay. So we will be using all these concepts in coming sessions, guys. Okay. I'm not able to continue today. Mm. We'll be connecting tomorrow. Okay. I'll keep you posted on my health status. Okay. Thank you, guys, and see you there in tomorrow's session. Thank you all.